Oh hey internet, what is up? Welcome back to the Type QQ channel as we take another stab at Jetbuster here, going for the 1cc. But you know how it goes. You hear my voice, so it doesn't necessarily work out that well. However, these last few runs, these last few videos, we've been striking it pretty close, with whether it's just early on into the final level. This video being the furthest we've gone, and I think we're breaching onto, okay, we can finally beat this game. We just kind of have to tie everything down, make it a sort of more complete package, I suppose, if that makes any damn sense whatsoever. We'll dissect the run as we go along, but there are certainly some weak points. There's certainly a lot of mistakes to correct. But yes, we're gonna take this to a point where we think like, hey, maybe it won't take too many more times before we finally do the impossible and 1cc a Grand Banzer Fox game, which would just blow my mind, right? Although I mean, it can be said that this one was specifically designed to be the easiest one. We're going to just look over that fact and be like, you know what? I will pleasantly ignore that fact and just be happy with the fact that I beat one of their games. Going with the strategy, the good old classic strategy we've employed a long time, pretty much since we've been doing videos of Jetbuster, of staying with level 4 in the first level, and then just scoring a ton of medals. The first level boss here, of course. The interesting fact here, taking our time, and then getting a giant bullet cancel there. So yeah, maybe maybe a second thought or a second look on how to defeat bosses. You know, kind of like Kaiken that we were playing back in the day, where you would want to kill the boss off when there was a lot of bullets on the screen. You know, that's kind of the same thing that we're looking here as well. And as this video goes along, we'll certainly see why we would need like every level we can possibly, or every extend that we can get. So maybe thinking about those extra points moving forward is probably a good idea. On to stage 2, however. Getting the no miss and the extend in the first level. Pretty standard stuff, I think. And this is the strategy we usually take with stage 2, is that we try to zoom up to level 5 medals pretty quick, or at least as quick as we can. With these big sort of engine enemies, kind of spilling out more coins than just a few. You can see here these red ones here. They continue with like this little fountain. So here we are at level 5, and now we're gonna stick by it, at least for the foreseeable future. However, this weapon is so strong. This sort of alternate giant shuriken is that you can actually kill enemies on the edge of it without actually like changing the coins to medals. So you can. I mean, as you can see, we are actually like crawling up level 5 as well. We're up to level 6. Nearly up to level 6. There's an extend picking up the giant payload from that mini-boss. So, seeing that we're so close to level 6, we are kind of taking the stab for it, or maybe not. No, never mind. We are sticking with level 5. Although one could say, we're so close to level 6, maybe we should. Keeping those items on the screen as long as possible, just to block any sort of weird shots. Yeah, these enemies that fire that sort of weird, almost like a triple shot pattern. yeah, with this area being very tricky sometimes where, well, there it is. I mean, there's certain, you know, even at the, how far and how deep we can get into this game, there are still areas in this game that are going to do that to us. You know, there's, you know, you know, I just don't know what I can do to kind of prevent some of these, like, bad habits and just sort of like weak points that we have. I suppose we can keep playing it more, but it's kind of like, yeah, you know, like we're always going to lose a life near the end of level 2 for some bizarre, unknown reason. However, I can kind of see in the future that, like, hey, maybe the run that, you know, that we finally beat this game in is one of the game, you know, one of the runs that we get a lucky break and maybe squeak by some of these hard areas that always tends to steal a life. But the level 2 boss was interesting as well. Got a couple good bullet cancels as well as picking up the extend there. So you know, at least despite the death, feeling pretty good. Level 3 medal that we certainly want to take care of. This level certainly will do that. However, you know, you kind of, you know, when you see this many coins flying around, you'd rather just make those into, you know, heavier points, more important points, that sort of thing. So we are at level 4 right now. It does not appear that we're satisfied with it, although it's not that we're in a very good position to pick up anything else with these sort of this wide shot, and yeah, just a miserable death there. And yeah, that's what it is. These enemies with these sort of spread shots, and then just, you know, and they're slow spread shots, and there are many enemies. It's just a giant cloud of just slow-moving bullets. And, you know, what's his name, Arashi? You know, he's a fast-moving character, so it's kind of like, you know, you have two choices. Do you kind of stay still, possibly align yourself up with just a good place to kind of glide through, or do you try to maneuver? And sometimes it's a coin flip, you know, especially when you have me at the keyboards of, you know, how are we going to do this and are we going to survive type of thing. However, this level's pretty good at healing you back up to where you want to be on your medal count, so we're back up to level 5. However, you know, we're down 2 lives that, you know, otherwise we really shouldn't have lost. Particularly 1 life that we really shouldn't have lost. And maybe 1 other life that we kind of assumed, you know, until things change, we're going to just get spanked near the end of level 2. Another extend there. And that's one thing you can kind of always account for, is that this game is going to be very generous. You know, if you keep your medal multiplier up and kind of know when to use it, you know, you're going to get your points in. And we are very close to level 6. If we could kind of score some coinage and kind of keep the deaths to a minimum here, I mean, that would certainly be pretty advantageous moving forward in this run. The last pattern was pretty simple. This one, pretty chaotic, as it's just like melting our bombs. No bullet cancel there, unfortunately. However, still sitting at level 5, just under 6. So if we can get any sort of coins from the phases of this boss here, that would be most awesome. This phase, rather pedestrian, pretty easy. This one can be kind of a little tricky. There's a ton of medals there, no coins. I suppose we went for the extend over the multiplier. That pattern rather easy as well. This pattern is a little tricky. You have to keep your eye out for these orange sort of lemons. And, well, there you go. And then just getting tied into the corner. And I think it's mistakes like these little stupid little things like so, like that we just went through there is what's keeping us from really making a better attempt at finishing this game. You know, we just have to bring a better, more complete package. So, where we would be, like, I guess, if we didn't necessarily get the coins we wanted for the boss fight, would be at least at level 5, crushing these guys, getting a bunch of medals. Now although we're not spending a lot of time, we're crawling up from level 3. So, you can kind of see how, once you get the ball of momentum rolling, you can kind of score a lot of points, and once you've kind of stuttered it, then you're dedicating a lot of energy and a lot of time in your run, kind of getting it back, getting it going once again, And when you're doing it in stupid positions where you really shouldn't be, yeah, it's just even more frustrating. A little spot there, just like in the first level where you can kind of rack in a ton of points. And we did just that. Getting another extend there. We're up to level 5, so we've got an alternative fire here, and really just grazing everything now. Everything's a lot easier than it looks. Nothing really fast or threatening, as long as you kind of, move back and forth. A giant shurikens keeping all these sort of like flanking enemies at bay. Real shitty dodge there. But that's kind of, that's the death of this run right here, is just that we're, for the life of us, we just cannot keep a good thing going for very long. And sadly, there's just a lot of bad, stupid mistakes. Granted, we're still sitting at 4 lives, and that we've really done some really great things. It's just that, like, we've done... They've been paired with some really stupid things that have kind of counterbalanced it, We haven't been able to take advantage of any really solid, good momentum, a really good 5 or 6, streak, maybe aside from level 3. Nice bullet cancel there with level 3 medals. At this point, if we're looking at 59 mil, maybe 60 or 70 or 75 mil is the next extend. Tricky pattern here as he just rips apart our last bomb there. Yeah, I think that's a matter of time when you're talking about a bullet pattern going at different speeds and giving me a character that's a bit too fast to handle, the intricacies, of moving through. I could throw out my alt fire, but there we go. However, the main takeaway is that we're at level 1 medals, moving on to the next stage. So, stage 5 rather. However, as depressing as that sounds, and that sounds like the sort of doom and gloom talk. This stage is also very good at kind of bringing you back up, as we are like nearly up to 4 already from the dumpster of level 1. So here we are, just like soaking in as many medals as we can. However, we can also say, hey, if we were also not such a klutz, this could be what, level 8, 9, 10, who knows, whatever we wanted to kind of go with, or just kind of a ton of level 5 or 6 medals, So, something's at, we're losing something, whether it's, more extends, despite the fact that we just picked one up here, or, a higher level. We're missing out by playing real shitty. Level 6 here. And we certainly take advantage of all these medals. Playing pretty risky there with sort of stoic approach to some of those bullets coming our way. But see if we can keep those. There we go, exactly. Keep those on the screen as long as we can. Tons and tons of medals there. The scary thing about some of these areas that really require you to use bombs is that, you have to think like, well, maybe I'm not going to have that many bombs to face the boss, you know. There's another extend there, which is great. Brings us up to 5, and we're at level 7. So, finishing off this boss, minimizing damage is certainly going to be the name of the game. Using a bomb there. Pretty easy. Wow. I was just going to say this is pretty easy. Sort of set up there, an easy pattern where we can kind of just work our way through. However, I don't know, maybe just staring off to no man's land, getting hit by like the world's biggest bullet, just slowly moving our way. Pretty foolish, stupid stuff. Brings us down to level 5. However, pretty fortunate with getting some of these bullet cancels as high as they are. 4 lives, 1 bomb, level 4 medal. If we can kind of keep it there, that'd be perfect. This form down to half-life. I was like, we do not want to be in that corner. What are we doing in the corner? I'd say this would be a lot easier if we didn't get these sort of fireballs sent our way. However, hey, we lucked out that time. Got a couple medals out of it as well. No extends, but that's okay. We're just happy to kind of make it through that boss fight with minimal damage, just that stupid mistake. Now we're looking at 4 lives, level 5 medal, onto the final stage here. Yeah, all kinds of coins, all kinds of points, looking to really actually bring us up to level 6 there. If nothing can be said about that slow scrolling stage, is that it's really good when it comes to those sort of really good for those sort of stations where you can pick up a bunch of stuff. Alright, taking him down. Weird glitch here where it seemed like, yeah, the medals weren't zooming in on us, but we only lost maybe like 10 or so it's not a big crime or anything there. And you could see when you die that those medals kind of zoom off the screen, which is, and here we are. This is just a downward slide, once you have lost momentum and you have a little shitty pea shooter, yeah, you can tell. Granted, we had that power up there. Things have turned real shitty, and we're at a sort of desperation mode where we're settling for level 2s, just to hope we can get another life out of it. You can see how rough it is once you once you lose your footing. It's really punishing. I mean, we know that these level 2 medals are not worth anything, but we're hoping it's just enough to kind of tip the scales. And honestly, we're not really focusing on that right now. We're just kind of making sure we make the correct dodges in the last part. So here we are, final boss. However, 1 life. 4 bombs, so you'd hope that we can at least take advantage of that. 3 bombs before we die. And it is just a fast pattern that we haven't seen too many times. That just eats all our bombs and then finally eats us. So, unfortunately, it didn't work out, but at least we get to the final level. And that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play some more Jet Buster in the future.